Hello YouTube! I'm going to be reading from A New Concept of the Universe, written by Walter Russell. Vibrating Matter, the Root Principle of Atomic Structure. Number 41. The A string of a harp is silent because it is not in motion. If you pluck it, you will set it in motion. By doing so, you have created a material body of sound by producing motion. The sound body, which you have created by the energy of desire extended from your mind into matter, is the tone of A. The reason you have produced the tone of A is because the wire was electrically conditioned to produce that tone. If you tighten the wire, thus changing its pressure condition, you produce the tone of B. By repeatedly contracting the wire by tightening it, you can produce a whole octave of increasingly higher tones. Conversely, a whole octave of lowering tones can be produced by expanding the wire by loosening it. The same wire can produce many tonal sounds. It produces different tones by changing the condition of the wire. The change is a difference of compression or expansion. Number 42. The birth of any body from its fulcrum zero to its zero of maturity and back again to its fulcrum is a cycle. Cycles of wave vibrations is an electric current, or in a musical note where the vibrations are so fast that the sound is heard as a continuous tone, are known as wave frequencies. The high frequencies of the tone of a harp string are too fast for the ear to hear the growth of that tone from its birth to its maturity and back again. The ear hears only the fully grown matured tone repeated in hundreds of cycles in 1 second without being aware of the growth of hundreds of bodies through the whole life cycles from birth to death. For this reason, we do not think of sound as a body as we think of man, tree, or bird as being a body. It is a body, however, just as a man is a body, for it is in motion, and all motion is a material body. We have many years to witness the many changes in a man's life cycle. We even have periods of many years, each of witnessing different stages of that growth. Each as the childhood period, then the boy, the young man, the mature man, then the aging man, and the very old man. For every creating body progresses through these periods of growth from birth to death, whether the body is 100 millionth of a second cycle of a high-frequency electric current, an 80-year cycle of a man, or a million-billion-year cycle of a sun. There is no difference except in time. Number 43. One can better comprehend the meaning of this idea by taking a slow-motion sound film of a harp string tone of A. By doing so, we lengthen the life cycle of the sound body to a 1 cycle in 60 seconds instead of a 1 cycle in a 3 or 400th part of a second. Now you can witness the growth of that tonal body from its infancy to its old age. You will first hear a faint low sound, which is no more like the full-grown tone of an A than a baby is like a full-grown man. Gradually it grows through its early stages towards maturity, and the sound you hear is like a siren growing ever more shrill until the fully grown tone of an A is reached at its maturity. If you could see that body, it would be a true sphere in form, compressed into very small space at the very middle at the extended harp string. It would be the center of gravity for the wave field, created by dividing the equilibrium of silence into a conditioned state of motion. The rest of the wave field would be empty space of millions of times greater volume. Its pole of rotation and the axes connecting the two magnetic north-south poles would coincide and would be parallel to the harp string vibrating axis. Its equator would be 90 degrees from that axis. Gradually, you would see that sphere flatten and throw off rings from its equator, and you would hear that siren tone in reverse until you could no longer hear it. Motion has ceased by withdrawing into its silent source. We do not say it is dead, for we know it will be repeated on the other side of the equator instantly. We say that a man is dead because the time interval between repetitive cycles is so long that we do not realize the law of repetitive vibrations is the same for all cycles, nor do we realize that all cycles are alike in the fact that they grow to maturity and die, in order that they may be reborn to again live and die. The space which surrounded the sound sphere has swallowed it up. The sun turns inside out to become space, and space turns outside in to become the sun on the other side of the wave axes. You hear the siren growth of the tone of A. Number 44. If we now speed up the cycles of man to as many frequencies as the tone of A, all we could see of his cycle would be the matured man. We could not see the childhood, boyhood, or manhood stages of his cycle. Instead of seeing the matured man of one cycle, we would see hundreds of matured cycles of the same man without being able to see the changing stages of any of the cycles. Number 45. If we likewise sped up the growing cycles of the stars in the heavens, we would see them come and go like fireflies flashing in the meadows. Their tens of billions of years duration is just a difference in the timing of their cycles, but the principle of growing and decay is identical in every state of motion created to manifest every idea in creation. The answer to that is polarity. Polarity is expressed in waves. Waves have dimension. Time is a dimension. It takes time to create a wave, for a wave is a cycle which has a seemingly beginning and ending. The time cycles for reproduction of electric thought waves are constant, but the time periods of life-death cycles vary as thought waves accumulate into cycles upon cycles of foreign bodies, of sounds, or of insects, animals, men, trees, suns, nebulas. Herein lies the solution of the mystery of growth and decay, or life and death, which has been deemed insoluble during all the ages of man. Life and growth are thought waves multiplied by time, while decay and death are time divided into voidance. This whole universe is but a projection of mind idea into a three-dimensional universe of thought wave time sequences from the universal zero of rest, followed by avoidance of that projection by withdrawal within the universal zero of rest.